Good afternoon. I'm Lucas Panzica from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. It is official. The Tennessee Titans have announced Brian Callahan as the 20th head coach in franchise history. Controlling owner Amy Adams Strunk's statement included the following, quote, "If you look at his history, Brian has been part of a Super Bowl winning team and another team that advanced to the Super Bowl. He's worked in a variety of dynamic offenses with top flight quarterbacks. At each step of his career, he has shown the flexibility and intelligence to make an impact," end quote. Brian Callahan will have his first press conference as the Titans head coach tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m. In addition, the Titans finalized the team's front office football structure today, promoting Rand Carthon to executive vice president and general manager, and Chad Brinker named president of football operations. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Here we go, Blaine and Mickey. Happy soaking wet hump day to you out there. Yeah, get the radials out there. Get them.
Are you a good driver in the rain?
Oh, I'm like Rain Man. I'm an excellent driver.
Oh, you a good driver? Oh, you got that big old Bronco, just running over people,
man,
running them off the road.
I get where I got to go.
Oh
yeah.
Man, wow, you a good driver there, Bananas. Bananas look like he be all over the road.
I'm all right.
You going to drive it?
All right.
Listen to him, confident. I'm all right. You going to drive and pick up Callahan and his family for this press conference at 1 o'clock tomorrow?
His flight may get canceled. Amy says she's going to the Virgin Islands now. Her work is done.
If Amy,
so you got to go get
all
it.
yours.
If Amy and the Titans call me, I'll be there.
Okay.
I'm just making sure.
So,
all right, but you would dish Amy, the billionaire, over us.
If Amy and the Titans call, I'm going to be there. I'll get Lucas to stay a little extra. He'll take his old shift back, and then I'll be on the way to pick up Callahan, and we'll be all good.
Man, I love how you ducked and dodged there, man. You might have been a good wide receiver, man. Yeah.
I'm too short to be a wide receiver.
I don't know, man. Yeah. Cheetah, he's not a tall guy.
Yeah, I'm not that fast, okay?
Watch this. There is nobody like Cheetah. I don't even know an NFL history. Well, I'm sure there was somebody along the way, man. I covered a couple of those dudes, man. People that nobody talks about, like Eric Metcalf or somebody. It was like, whoa.
This whole thread.
I forget about this dude, bro.
This whole thread of Eric Metcalf highlights showed up on Twitter a couple of days ago. I had sat and watched it for about 30 minutes.
Oh, dude. In my rookie year, they say, Blaine, you got him on passing situations. I said, dude,
You take him on passing situations.
No, I did not. My rookie year, I'm sitting in the back going, oh, dang, I think I got to go to the bathroom. I was like, dude, what? Why are they putting me on this dude? I'm like, oh, my God. Oh, I'm going to watch a lot of film. I got some cheat codes here, boy, and some of them don't work. Get talent versus talent. I was like, oh, my gosh, this guy here. He was fast, too, man. Nobody talking about great returner, too, man.
Powerful. He was.
He was quick as lightning, especially on that turf. I was like, my rookie year, remember, we was AFC Central. So we played the Browns twice. So I was like, oh, man, I'd rather play him in Cleveland. I don't want to play him on his turf.
What do you think Brian Callahan could do with a weapon like that?
Oh, my. Well, he probably says he already got one named Tajay Spears. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, very, very somewhat similar. I mean, I'm not going to put him on Eric Metcalf level.
Right.
He was just a rookie. But you can see, glimpses of that there. But you could always do for another one. Maybe at receiver. Ooh.
Boy, So Brian Callahan official. Titans have released the statement and everything. So tomorrow, this full disclosure, we're leaving here Monday. We all get in the hallway and we're planning out the week. What day did we say?
No, not what day did we say. I appreciate you putting my name in there and Bananas, but you said
yeah, it was you,
Mickey.
Bananas. It was you, Mickey. Yeah, you said, maybe they'll announce them, Tuesday night, Wednesday. We'll get them Thursday at 1 o'clock. You got the announcement wrong.
Yeah.
Well, actually, you got the announcement right.
Yeah.
The news broke a little earlier.
Yeah.
You got the announcement right. You got
Thursday.
it. You hit it right on the head.
Man, I tell you, he can read, man. You reading them tea leaves from old Jimbo.
Jimbo is just leaving a trail of breadcrumbs, man. It's all there. Every answer is there for Jim White's mailbag.
You got to read them. You got to know how to read them. You know, that's like an FBI agent right there, man.
Well, I literally had to translate some from Spanish because he answers questions in Spanish with answers in Spanish.
You and Mike Wilson need to start a fortune-telling business.
Boy, Mike Wilson, we had that rascal on. By the way, podcast, Blaine and Mickey, it's there. Any place you consume your favorite podcast, go back and listen to the interview with Mike Wilson because we're like, did you see this coming with Dalton Connect? And he goes, actually, I did. And then what did we ask him later? He's like, actually, I predicted that as well.
Yeah.
So he predicted all kinds of stuff. So we're predicting stuff. And
You predicted. Man, you on point, Mickey.
well,
Yeah, I think they were listening over there in the building, man. They say, "Oh, we really adore Mickey. So we're gonna make sure we put it at 1:00 during his show."
Blaine and Mickey Tarot Services.
That was awesome there, man. That prediction, man. I'm glad you got a bug in the building or something.
I got no bugs other than Jimmy White's mailbag. The answers are all there. He's putting it in plain sight.
Yeah, you just got to know how to read it, huh?
We're gonna have to throw Buck out of here though at like early tomorrow because he's been going a little bit beyond his grace period.
No,
we can't miss the beginning of this.
No,
tomorrow.
watch this. We should make it the Blaine and Mickey and Buck show tomorrow.
Just do one continuous thing.
Yeah, just keep it going all the whole time.
So y'all are gonna come in at 10?
Watch this, but we only do the last segment.
Oh,
Not the
Just
whole
let Buck do
show.
the whole thing. We'll come on tomorrow. Would that'd be 2:45 and tie things up? Yeah. I like that.
2:40. Yeah, 2:40.
Or have Callahan come on with us for those last 15 minutes or so.
Well, Buck may have some issues with that because you know his name got to be is the Buck Rising Show.
That's right. Featuring Blaine and Mickey.
Oh, there we go.
You get a feature.
Yeah.
Like a song.
Yes. Yeah. Like we're just two guys who come in the middle and rap.
Yeah.
You know, for 4 bars or something, and then Buck is the star of the show.
Wait, all right, you got some music behind you. You know, I got some some dancing in my background.
I want to see you dance.
Oh man, you see me dancing on TV when you go watch my highlights.
I want to
Back
see.
in the day, I was dancing every time I got a sack. I danced. Did you see my dance? It's called the Cowboy. I gave it the name Cowboy. Actually, I did. A buddy of mine, Michael Barr, gave me the name Cowboy because of the bow legs. So every time I did a thing, everybody used to ask me, like, what are you doing after you sacked them? Other players. I said, I'm doing the Cowboy.
You got Steve Young, right? Did you do
that was my
sack
first
force
start.
fumble, right?
Yeah. I did. I don't think I did it then
because I've seen that one a bunch.
I didn't evolve. Yeah, okay. I didn't know they were just calling me that at practice.
Okay,
I wasn't ready for the. I was pointing up in the stands to my lonely fan that was there. No, I was pointing to the man up top, man. Yeah, like I told you I could do it, and I did it. Yeah, man. So that's fun. And now the Titans have done it. They have hired their coach. Brian Callahan, you pumped up about it? I told you, man. It should be an exciting time. We get to, change our opinion as time goes on. But right now, and got some new titles for Rand. Well, we see the power structure, don't you? I wonder if Vrabel had the power structure, and that's why they hadn't consummated that Rand was going to have this kind of power yet, and that's why he didn't say and she didn't say it because
a couple of weeks ago when they spoke, well, he spoke.
See that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and now it's done. Now they got the bananas control now, boy. Ooh, bananas, man. I hope he don't slip on that banana peel.
So Rand went from 1 year basically of I'm here to serve Mike,
I'm in the backdrop.
I'm in the backdrop. That's the way he talked. He went 1 year to, there's a press release today. It's a laundry list of about 83 things he's in charge of now.
Mm-hmm. And here's what Rand did, which was smart, man. I wouldn't have been this smart. We was just talking about banana peels, right? He just let old Mikey walk down that street right there. And he said, hey, watch out for that banana peel. And then Mike said, oh, man, shoot, man, I played in the NFL. I don't got to worry about no banana peel, man. I had to tackle some of the best in the business and sack them. And then he said, whoop, but there's a whole bunch of them. You got to get through all of them. And then he just eventually slipped on one of those banana peels. Yep. And said, bye-bye. So that's what happened. He let him slip on the banana peel.
So Rand Carthon is now.
I'll just be in my office working. Y'all come get me if you need me.
His role with the Titans will now include full roster control and oversight of the coaching staff.
He's got the power.
Our organization will now benefit more completely from Rand's unique ability to build and lead a championship caliber football team. This team now runs through Rand.
Yeah, he's over the 48, 53 coaches. I'm like, whoa.
The coaching one was I think the one that really got me.
That was for me, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that kind of happened when I was on the team, and that's why Jeff Diamond came in, because, you want to kind of let your coaches have control over their hires. So that was an interesting one. So that's what you get, though, when you get a first-time head coach, and he just wants this opportunity to be the head coach. And then now you kind of can maneuver and manipulate a little bit of how you want this thing to go. I think if I was guessing, you just never know. I don't think Rand is the type to say, oh, no, you can't hire that guy. But I think he was like, hey, what do you think about this guy? Or some guys that we already have here already on staff, can you work with some of these guys instead of maybe hiring your guy? Because all these coaches want to hire their friends, their buddies, the guys that, they're connected to and understand their scheme and system. So, that was the only part of it that was interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's kind of archaic. When I say that, I mean, like, that's kind of way back.
Yep.
Do you think that has anything to do with the increased turnover that Mike Vrabel had in his coaching staff, or the displeasure, I guess, that ownership and the front office had with Mike Vrabel's staffing hires while he was here? Because that was one thing that Amy did kind of hint at in that video after firing Vrabel was the coaching staff. If you kind of read between the lines, she poked at it a little bit, not much. Do you think that is a reason that Rand kind of got that power?
I think it's an interesting point, right? Maybe because Vrabel kept hiring in-house, promoting up, and they're going to do the same thing that they were taught before. Mm-hmm. So ultimately, he started hiring yes sir guys, the guys that he believed that is going to do what he tells them to do, instead of the best qualified guy. We need to get out of here. So maybe so there, Bananas. Because that is odd. Don't you find that odd, Mickey? That's even at this, man, that's really interesting. Now, that's not to say Rand goes like, no, you're going to hire who? He's going to be like, hey, man, we want you to pick your guy, but if we got somebody here available that I know that's good, what do you think? Mm-hmm. I think he's kind of that personality type. I don't think he's, let's say like this, just like a parent, it's like your way or the highway.
Right.
Let's sit here and have a conversation about it. Let's talk it through and figure out and let's make a decision tomorrow. And then after both of us come back, and then do we still feel the same way? Mm-hmm.
Collaboration.
Yeah.
Remember the C word.
But ultimately, I could say, no, we're going to do this.
Right.
Just like
that's what this
right?
says. That's what the press release says.
Yeah.
Ultimately, hey, we'll talk it out.
So, like I said the other day, the Rand clock is ticking. And I'm sure thinking Rand wants to run this thing like a turtle. He wants this thing to go super slow. And I'm talking about his tenure as the GM and everything involved with his new title.
All right.
Congratulations to Rand.
Absolutely. And Brinker, too. All right. We can read the statements from Amy Adams Strunk. There's some interesting stuff. We're going to have – there's a couple of interesting –
Oh, no. We need your wizardry like you're reading Jimbo.
Oh, I'm going to whiz all over this. Coming up with my wizardry. Yes, we'll do some wizarding. We'll take your phone calls if you're on the line, 615-737-1045. Titans coach, it's official, Brian Callahan. Ryan Callahan still with 247 Sports. We'll be right back.
Oh, Ryan Callahan.
All right, let's talk to all you folks who are starting 2024 and maybe things just aren't quite the way they used to be, up on top of your head with your hair, right? Maybe you noticed last year, gosh, losing my hair. Maybe you noticed a long time ago. Maybe it's all gone now. You've heard me talk about PAI, about WeGrowHair.com. Maybe you even went to the website. Maybe you went to WeGrowHair.com. You just got curious. Well, you started looking around on there and you saw these real people telling their stories with real results. You thought, man, I look just like the before picture for that guy. Or, oh, my gosh, that's me right there. Gosh, that sounds just like me talking. Well, guess what? You can go get it all fixed. They'll work with you on how you pay for it. Not everybody gets the exact same thing. They'll have the program that's perfect for you, right? Like Callahan. going to be a game plan specific for each game. Well, guess what? PAI, game plan specific for each head of hair. But they can get you where you want to be. They can if you don't call, though. And first visit's free. It's a free consultation. Costs you nothing to go get a game plan. 615-376-6010. That's what you need to call, or just go to wegrowhair.com today. Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone. Brian Callahan, officially the Titans head coach. I'll read these paragraphs in a minute. A couple of things, like I said, really stood out
From
to
Amy
me.
Adams Strunk?
Yes, from Amy Adams Strunk.
Ooh-wee.
But we got people on the phone. Let's let people talk. We'll get to these paragraphs. We got this whole hour. We got JD in the second hour. This is y'all's time.
Yeah, you got point guard. Let it go.
Let's
fly.
get to the people. Let's get to Jason in Franklin calling. Jason, what you got for us?
Hey, what's up, fellas? Enjoy the show. Love you guys. Quick question. It's a two-part question. With Callahan coming to town, is he going to hire a new defensive coordinator, or are we going to keep Bowen? Or since Rand has now got all this control, is that something that he would do? I would love for you guys to kind of help me out on that, to understand the process and what Bowen's contract, is like. And I'll hang up and listen. Thank you guys so much. Bye.
Thank you, Jason.
I don't know. How many years does he have left on the deal?
Don't know. Haven't seen that.
I don't know that.
As you've said before, they're not super forthcoming about the contracts the coaches get.
Right.
You don't get dollar amounts. You don't get length of time. You don't get a whole lot of anything. They don't have to keep him. There's been nothing linking those two together. But now,
has he done any interviews?
Some guys on the Titans staff have done interviews. I don't know.
Has Bowen?
Yes, he did an
I think he
interview
did one
with
for DC,
Jacksonville.
Okay.
So he didn't get it because they hired. They hired the guy from Atlanta, didn't they?
Correct.
Ryan.
But they asked him
somebody.
a bunch of questions, though.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Well, I guess that's all. Some of it would be moot now,
But,
except for player evaluations, yeah.
I don't know. With Rand's new title now, he can actually say, hey, keep this guy. So it's about what Rand actually thinks of Bowen to a certain extent, and then maybe what the head coach Callahan, maybe what he has in mind for someone else that he would love to have, and they'll have discussions about it. So that'll be interesting. I think that goes for all the coaches, to be honest. I have no idea, but based off what that contract says, he's over the 48, 53, and coaches. So, yeah.
Let's get Ryan in Gallatin. What you got for us, Ryan? Thanks for calling.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited about the new coach. I'm excited about the new front office setup. There's clarity, and that just makes it so much better, in my opinion. And I just think if Callahan could come in there and give the O-line a split more second blocking, get open a split second quicker, get rid of the ball a split second, it's thin margin in the NFL. That'd be nice.
Yeah. That's a great point. That is a great point in that it's not like some huge difference. It's hundreds of seconds of things that divide who wins and who loses and who's open and who isn't, and the amount of time that the quarterback has to throw. So I'm sure they're going to be all about evaluating who they got and who they need to get next. Because what Senior Bowl Coach Mack said, when you guys talk to me, I'll be at the Senior Bowl.
Next time we talk to him,
Yeah.
he's got a week.
So these dudes are going to have to drive down to Mobile, Alabama, and start figuring this stuff out. Johnny is up next. Here's Johnny. Johnny, you there, man?
Is that me?
Are you Johnny?
No, I'm Scotty.
Scotty,
Wow.
that's my bad.
That's okay.
my bad.
Bananas was off on it. Here's Scotty. How
does
about
this
that?
happen? Like, how do you not hear their name?
The phone line connection can be bad sometimes.
Scotty, go ahead, man. We
Scotty and
apologize.
Johnny? It wasn't
Scotty,
even close,
Johnny.
though.
Yes.
You're good. Last time I talked to you, Blaine was licking his wings over his fingers over there in Gallatin a long time ago.
I definitely probably was eating some wings, man. I love me some wings, man.
Anyway, what I was going to get at, I'm great that RC is what I'm going to call him. He's taking the reins, so the coach should have at least 4 years. Because RC he's already been through his first year, and I think he's failed at that one. So my other big question is,
You think Rand Carthon has failed at year one?
yeah,
Okay. I'm just making sure what we thought you were saying there.
yeah, he failed in his first year because he didn't get a line. But my next thing is, what I'm curious about is he's come over and he's created this 10-year whatever he's doing. What is the salary cap like for the San Francisco 49ers? Because, I mean, they're an elite team. So I'm kind of looking forward to see what he's going to try to create here.
Yeah.
Well, he's got tons of cap space here to create with. The second most in the NFL right now, I believe.
Well, what I could say is Rand was not in charge of the salary cap there at the 49ers.
Yeah.
He was in the scouting department. So he watched, but he was not, and I don't even know if I think that's Brinker's duty now, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Today.
I would also add, I don't know how much final say he had in
San Francisco, right? He was third in the line there.
and even here for the choices that were made for the guys that you're saying that didn't perform well on the line. Yeah. I would think another guy.
Another part of his duties, though, now.
Yes. Start the clock now, Scotty. Yeah.
It's definitely start.
Mike is calling from Cleveland. Is this Cleveland, Ohio, or Cleveland, Tennessee?
Yeah, it's Cleveland, Ohio. What's up, y'all?
Yeah. It's Mike from Cleveland. Come on, Mike.
All right.
Yeah, it's Mike from Cleveland. Yeah, our cousin Mike.
I know cousin Mike. Yeah.
I know what's up.
Yeah, whatever names y'all give me, I just go with it. Right now, I'm Mike from Cleveland, but yeah, y'all was talking about the Rand having power over the coaching staff. I really think, and we thought that was weird or whatever. I think it's weird too. But also the thing I'm remembering is that this go back to Malarkey, when she was having problems with him not wanting to fire Robisky.
Yeah.
And so now with Vrabel, we see where he's bringing in his friends, and they're not really, the offense really hasn't upgraded, that much. We were still running the same offense, really. And so I think Miss Amy really just wanted to let it be known and clear, like, hey, we'll respect your hires, but overall, if they're not progressing like how she feels the Titans need to progress, then Rand can step in and make the executive decision and fire and hire somebody new. If being your friend, being your homeboy, or being a good yes man gets in the way. So
great point. Great point.
She's learning.
Yeah.
She's learning as she goes. That's how I look at it. She's learning how to run this organization as she goes. And keeps going further and further. So, let's see what happens. You dig? But look, I'm listening. Y'all stay blessed. Deuces.
Yeah, so Mike, great point, man.
Yeah, it really was, because over time, I mean, that's been become an issue. So I think with him saying that, I'm gonna be in the middle of that. I'm gonna say, I think they want the coaches to hire people, but then he said, if it's not working, we're gonna move in a different direction. Then we're gonna put the hammer down and say, hey, we need to go do this.
It gives them the power to do that. And then there's no argument.
Right. I think we're going to let the coach hire his people.
Yeah.
But then if it becomes a time where we have to make a decision, we will. Yeah, that's a great point. Over history and time, and when he went all the way back to Malarkey to where we are today, yep, that was definitely the case.
So Mike pulling out the history books back to Malarkey. Tighten Up Tony says in the F&M Bank chat, Amy saw how Vrabel botched his staff. This would have given I don't know if the timeline worked out if Rand was the GM when they promoted the assistant O-line coach, but this would have easily given the GM the ability to walk down the hall and go, no.
So
I want a crusty old guy.
He'll say assistant,
Right.
and we'll hire somebody.
Then we'll hire
somebody with a lot of experience.
So you get me a couple of names, or if not, I'll get you names.
This is exactly what Amy said in her statement after firing Vrabel. As I continued to assess the state of our team, I arrived at the conclusion that the team would also benefit from the fresh approach and perspective of a new coaching staff. I don't know if she meant just Vrabel. She meant Vrabel and Vrabel's guys. She kind of left it open-ended there. But
Well, I mean, I think we all know it was going to be a new coaching staff because they fired him.
well, I know, but I'm saying, like, you go back to then look at the
What she
history
said.
with
I don't know if
Malarkey.
she really mean that. I don't know. Just because that was so broad. But it could be. It could be. It's a little broad. But what she said in her statements today to me tells me, and that's what Mickey's going to
You ready?
in here a little bit.
Let's read some tea leaves.
Yeah.
You want to get
Well,
Dr.
I mean, you want to go one more to Dr. Detroit?
Yeah, Dr. Detroit's trying to make a house call here. Let's check in with the doctor. Hey, Doc.
Hey, I like that, trying to make a house call. I remember those days when I was little, burning up with fever from strep throat.
Ooh, me
I had the
too.
worst strep throat in the world. How you guys doing?
Well,
Good,
thank
good,
goodness
good.
none of us have strep throat, man.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
did-
I remember I used to
Yeah,
have that all the time
hey,
when I was a kid.
I'm serious. I almost died in Dothan, Alabama hospital coming back from vacation in Daytona when I was 5 years old. They contacted both sides of my grandparents,
I had tubes coming out of my body, and no, it was hell. It was really I'm blessed. But anyway, let me start off with Mr. Stephen A. Smith. You know, yeah, he's comical. You know, I dig him every now and then, but sometimes you need to absorb your thoughts before you open up that damn big mouth of yours, because it then came back to bite you. Okay? Yes, I'm very proud of my Lions. I'm not going to say those two words that start with S and B, but I like the run. I like the enthusiasm. This team is on a roll. This team is a beast. The coach is a beast. Some coaches think he's funny. Well, is he funny like Joe Pesci? Because guess what? Because guess what? Does he amuse you? Well, he should, because he's fighting for the NFC Championship Sunday now, isn't he?
Yeah.
Woo.
You got it.
After Detroit.
Yeah, they kind of the Cinderella team, man. You got to be cheering for Detroit. All the stuff they've gone through, man. How can you not, man? Come on. Hey, man. Debo Samuels don't play. Detroit, man, they have nothing. And it is nothing like when you don't have anything to lose.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to play loose and freely. All the pressure.
House money.
It's going to be on the 49ers.
Well, I'd be taking Debo to see that doctor, you know, who doesn't touch you, but things line back up and he waves his hands over you. I'd if I was Debo, I'd be calling it that
guy, Dr. Trent, that guy's name Andrew. Andrew's that guy. Yeah, that guy, he got me right. He got me tight.
Debo's a different cat, man.
Ooh, I seen dudes talking smoke on X. Oh, you ain't that dude. You just a running back playing wide receiver. I'm talking about dudes in the league.
Oh.
That aren't playing, actually, right this time. I'm like, what are you doing, bro? Why are you hating?
James,
you ain't all that. Really?
He's all that. James is getting after Dr. Detroit. He said, come on, man, we talk Titans here. Dr. Detroit's a long-time station caller, man. He deserves to talk a little smack for his Lions. He's a long-suffering guy. All right. What did Amy Adams Strunk say? There's a lengthy email that we got. A lot of it is Callahan's bio, and, you know, we're proud to announce it. But you get to the bottom, and there's this whole other part of the letter, Titans finalized football structure. I think there's, I think there was something that came in here that everybody needs to pay attention to. Then I think there was one thing in the Amy Adams statement on Callahan. So here you go.
Oh, you just reading the stuff that you said, the crumbs that we need to be paying attention to.
These were crummy to me. Yes.
Your FBI gadget eyes.
I've been watching a TV show, FBI, for years now. I'm fully.
You're licensed now.
Pretty much. Just like I have a Husqvarna mower that I fix so many times myself that the guys at Brentwood Lawnmower Shop told me, you're basically Husqvarna certified now. You fixed your own mower so many times.
Hey, man, you see, that's how you're better than me, because I would have just threw the thing away.
No, you should see.
That's what I did with my weed whacker. Kept not whacking.
No, I got everything whacking. I'm whacking like there's no tomorrow over my house. Amy Adams Trunk whacked somebody here in this statement. Yeah, I was. Amy Adams Trunk on Callahan. He didn't get whacked. He just got hired. If you look at his history, Brian has been a part of a Super Bowl winning team and another team that advanced to the Super Bowl. He's worked on a variety of dynamic offenses with top flight quarterbacks. At each step of his career, he's shown the flexibility and intelligence to make an impact. Flexibility being a big key word to me there. Flexibility. Because what did Blaine say? Hey, man, last night news broke. It's Callahan. I did some looking into this guy. Very game specific. You got to talk about all the stuff you'd read about him, like sometimes they run it, sometimes they throw it. We looked at his running numbers for the team. They've been as high as like 6th in the league in passing, and then they've been 20th in the league. And how much? The year they went to the Super Bowl, they threw the 20th amount of passes in the NFL. I don't think her mentioning flexibility, and I don't even know if intelligence wasn't also a shot thrown into that last sentence.
And flexibility means, hey, man, whatever it takes to win, if we got to throw 80 times this game, as long as we win, that's the recipe.
Including on first down.
We come back and we run 80 times. That's the recipe. Whatever is working, game specific. Let's go. Let's have some flexibility in your game planning there.
No longer my way
or the
highway. Yeah.
Yeah, this is running to the brick wall and knowing you can't run through it. Yeah, that's how I see that one. Okay, got some more FBI code breakers.
I got one more. You want to get Luke's call?
Yeah, we'll take Luke.
Let's get Luke's call because mine's not going anywhere, and I don't want Luke to, his boss to catch him trying to talk to us or anything. Okay. Luke and Dixon. Luke, just please tell us you're at Dixon Donuts right now, about to hammer a dozen for both of us.
Bring me some this
if
way.
You're calling from Dixon, I just want to picture you there.
No, I'm going to get some coffee though, but no Dixon Donuts. So y'all touched on this a little bit yesterday, and I didn't get a chance to call in, but I drive a lot for work. Sometimes I don't get reception, so I have Sirius. And I was listening to Skip Bayless the other day, and they were basically saying, talking about the teams with openings, and they said, if you why would you want to go to the Titans? You're going to have to get a quarterback. And then his sidekick producer came in and was like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. No mention of Will Levis at all. And it's not the first time.
No.
I've heard other guys in national media not even acknowledge Will Levis. And they had to see the Pittsburgh game on a Thursday night. He's on their own 5-yard line after they play Renegade, and he throws a 30-yard dart. They saw the Miami game. So it's why would they just completely ignore him and ignore the fact that, he's developing on a rookie contract and all these things. And I hear them say we're going to take a quarterback on these mock drafts. It just bewilders me. It just shows how little the national media pays attention to the Titans. So I want to get y'all's thoughts on that, and love the show. Have a great afternoon. See you guys.
Enjoy your coffee. Hey, man, that's why you got to listen to The Zone. Yeah. I mean, you can listen to the other stuff for entertainment purposes, but you got to listen to The Zone. Bunch of great writers around here. There's a lot of people that can tell you what's going on.
Someone asked Jared Goff in their press conference. I guess it was either today. There it is. They asked him about.
This happens all the time. We talk about something. It's like, oh, you mean the thing that's on TV right this second?
They asked him about something Skip Bayless, and he interrupted the reporter and goes, "I don't listen to that."
Yeah.
He goes, don't follow that.
If you pay attention, all those shows where they yell at each other, no one watches those shows. The ratings are just traditionally terrible. All those shows are just dispensed out there in the most outlandish, 37-second sound bites, and everybody watches those, and then they either get mad about it or they get happy about it. But nobody, I defy you to find somebody who's like, oh, yeah, I don't work. I watch Skip Bayless every day and Shannon. People only see the clips from those shows. They're only clips that exist.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That's it. Nobody's watching those.
They believe the clips.
Right.
Well, how about this? Okay. All right. Pro Football Hall of Fame. Boy, I'd love to go down there and check this out. Well, new to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, this was just 22 hours ago. The Oilers-styled helmet that the Titans' Will Levis, have you heard of him? Will Levis wore in Week 8 when he became the third player in NFL history to throw 4 TD passes in his NFL debut. But they ain't heard of Will Levis.
And he's in the Hall of Fame.
Helmet is.
Bro.
Most glorious helmet in football.
These dudes, they put out a narrative at the beginning of the season that, they didn't probably like Tannehill. They don't have a quarterback. They want to continue to be right instead of saying, let's go to the left. Hey, Will Levis looked pretty good. Don't know if he's a franchise quarterback, though. But guess what? They might have somebody they can work with and see where he goes if he gets some better protection. Then you know that they are paying attention to what's going on in Nashville. He's got some tools, and I'm not going to say he's arrived, but he got some tools where you're going to say, oh, hey, I think I want to work with this. I want to see what I can turn this into. Because he's got some special gifts that a lot of quarterbacks don't have. Not to say it takes more than just your gifts, as we all know. So I don't buy into, he didn't go first round, man. Purdy didn't go first round either. Looked pretty good, huh? So you don't have to go first round to be an impactful quarterback. So you get with the right scheme, right system, you get his mind right, stay healthy, get some weapons around him. I think we'll be all right. We're
going to be all right. All right. I got another paragraph I'll read on the other side when we come back. Amy Adams Strunk talking about the times are changing in the building over there. I think this is one of these things that a bunch of you are going to be excited when you hear.
Take a note.
Because it's a source of consternation for many of you and for many Titans fans that I think she is ready to address. We'll get to all that and more. But you got to stick around. Blaine and Mickey, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors.
Oh, crap. Did you know Eurofix has a very different business philosophy? They staff all their locations with more staff than the average auto repair shop, just so they can be ready for when your emergency pops up out of nowhere. Have you ever noticed how hard it can be to get a right now appointment for vehicle repair? Well, some dealers can be more than 2 weeks out just to get a freaking appointment. But not Eurofix. Eurofix has been offering quality repairs that beat the dealer without the dealer pricing since 1999. Plus a 3-year nationwide warranty and the staff to fix your car right away. That means right now. So if you're tired of waiting forever to get your car into the shop, then call Eurofix. Owner Aaron Stokes says, we will never be too busy for our customers. We're here to take the pain away, and we mean right now. And Eurofix repairs all European cars, and Eurofix says yes to speedy repair when others can't or won't. Family owned for 24 years, and all you have to do is just give them a call at 844-EUROFIX. That's right, 844-EUROFIX, or you can just visit them online at myEurofix.com. That's myEurofix.com. But always tell them Blaine sent you.
Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone.
Banana said, Vrabel's in Atlanta.
He's probably down there at the varsity getting a frosted orange. That's what I'd be doing if I was in Atlanta right now.
I don't know.
Varsity's good.
Oh, I'd crush a frosted orange right now.
Right there, boy. I don't know. Where's that place that basketball player went for some wings?
Oh.
What was the name of that place?
It was not the varsity.
That's a burger place.
Was it Magic City?
Oh, yeah, Magic City. I think that's where Vrabel's at. I think Vrabel's
Boy.
And it drove Vrabel to Magic City.
He'd be getting some magic.
Boy, he would get some magical wings.
Just when that story broke, it just kept saying he went to Magic City. And I just kept thinking, that's a cool name for a chicken place. Like Magic City. It's a magic chicken. Somebody said, no.
It's not
a chicken place.
That wasn't the breasts and thighs he was looking at. Not the chicken. He was looking at something else. I had no idea, man. People are in the chat.
Man.
Magic City. Those wings are like cracked lemon pepper.
Oh, man.
Bunch of y'all been to Magic City.
Oh, man.
I just thought it was a cool name for a place that served chicken.
It definitely has some thighs and some legs up in there, man.
This is what Amy Armstrong said. This is the other thing. So a bunch of y'all have had consternation about a specific department over there. If you read the injury numbers every year, this is what Amy Armstrong said in a pre-written statement. This is not my father's NFL. As our league continues to evolve in areas like analytics, sports science, and technology, football organizations have become more complex and multifaceted. I want our football operation to be at the forefront of the NFL as teams continue to find new competitive advantages. So this is when she's talking about the promotion for Chad Brinker. Sports science.
You know,
analytics.
Yep.
I think remember John Robinson at one point got asked about analytics. And he said, I am the analytics department, I think was the quote that he said. So I don't think that was a shot at him. I think this is just her saying, whatever that was we were doing a little over a year ago, we're going to make a complete 180.
We want to be at the forefront. We want to be at the front of that.
We will be the front of it. The other thing, sports science, that's strength, conditioning, sports science.
Yeah.
I've been reading the numbers. I see how many people I have to write contracts for when they keep bringing them in and going, we had signed 7 more people this week. You got to sign this linebacker off the street. Okay, now what am I signing again? Well, we're the most injured team in the NFL again.
The last 3 years.
Last 3 years.
That ain't a coinkydink.
So this is in the. I'm not in favor of anybody losing their job. I would never. I'm not
Absolutely
a call.
not.
I'm not a call for a person getting fired because they got wives and kids and families. But there comes a time where something's not working, though, and I am a person who when something's not working, you have to make a change.
Mm-hmm.
And this statement says
they make adjustments themselves.
Yes, even if it's them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you got to be flexible to make adjustments yourself.
Yep. And that's already come up before too. That word. Flexibility.
Yeah, that was the
talking
first
about Brian Callahan. So she sat down and crafted this with whomever she trusts, and they write these things up. But she sent a message about a lot of things in these statements.
Boy, FBI, you cracked the code.
Well, I'll tell you where this came from is real estate contracts, because I was in real estate forever, and you couldn't miss one detail. Because if you miss one detail, it could cost thousands. So I'd read, reread, and reread, and read again, and what does this mean? If I didn't know the answer, I'd go find the most expensive or most expansively experienced agent I could, and I'd say, tell me how you interpret this. And if it was open for interpretation, I'd send it back to the other agent and say, you have to be specific. Or I would write it out in specific language the way I read it and say, well, this is the way I read it, but we're not accepting anything till we're all on the same page. Well, this just tells you she is getting a bunch of people who are on the same page.
Getting aligned.
They are getting aligned. And the alignment starts with her, and then it goes to Rand Carthon, and then Brinker's got his lane that he's going to be responsible for because it's all outlined. So 2 weeks ago when Rand spoke, and people said, what's this and what's that? And he goes, we're going to let you know when it's time. Well, it was time this morning. They put it all out there.
There you have it.
Today is time.
And I bet you Vrabel had it. And once they let him go, they hadn't negotiated how this process was going to be.
Yep.
And until it gets in writing, will we then present it to you? But you guys got to hold up. Oh, you don't know what you're doing. I want everybody who was saying all of that, and I said, y'all need to hold your horses. This lady's a bad mamma jamma now. Y'all need to apologize.
I do appreciate how clear they laid everything out. Like, this person is going to do this, this, and this. This person's going to do this and this. Like, it was very clear, and it was very easy to understand.
And what did she
who's
say?
doing what.
At the appropriate time, I will tell you what the plan is. See? This is not this lady's first rodeo now. This lady's running other businesses and everything.
That's a plan.
Dude.
It's all out there.
Oh, that's a long plan, man. No wonder I didn't finish. It was too long for me, man. I got to get two paragraphs as far as I can go.
Well,
I just spent my phone starts ringing and dinging and donging and all. There ain't another email, another tweet. Yeah,
so we will.
Strong.
So again, it's all out there, and who's going to do what? I'll tell you what. We need to take a break. Banana's going to be in our ear. We got Nate who wants to check in. If you want to check in, 615-737-1045. What are the duties for Rand Carthon? If you're just joining us, Brian Callahan, official coach, there's a full statement. What are Rand's duties? What are Chad Brinker's duties? That's the last thing about all this we haven't gone over exactly. But when we say it's all lined out, everybody knows their role. We can tell you that when we come back, and we'll take your phone calls. Jordan Dajani coming up, and more huge second hour of Blaine and Mickey coming up.
Ding dong.
Life is busy. We could all use some extra time in our day, which is exactly why Two Rivers Ford offers mobile service. We'll bring the service to your driveway at no additional charge. Oil changes, brakes, batteries, the certified technicians at Two Rivers will perform basic maintenance on your vehicle wherever you are, so you'll have more time for moments like this. Schedule your mobile service appointment by scanning the QR code or calling Two Rivers Ford today.
What's up, everybody? Blaine and Mickey, halfway through the Hump Day show, meaning we're at the nexus of the sports talk universe. We are halfway through the halfway through the week show, he said. Interesting first hour. Lots to talk about the power structure and some messages that we feel like Amy Adams-Strunk was sending out in some of her statements. Also, we talked about Magic City Wings, and that's got a bunch of people. Yeah.
Guys in the wings, boy, they good.
They got it all going on
Yeah,
there.
what's that basketball player say they were?
Lou Will, right? The Lou Will, lemon pepper. I remember the story.
Yeah, Lou Will.
So, anyway, that's got people talking. Again, you missed anything, you can check us out wherever you pick up your favorite podcast, rate, review, subscribe. Then you'll never miss an episode. Also, whatever you were doing, just download the Zone app. Take us with you everywhere you go. That way you always listen to the Zone. If you're
in all the shows, too. Yeah.
Everywhere you go, just all day long, listen to the Zone. That's the way it works. All right, who's doing what now? So Brian Callahan is official. There's a press conference tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Guess what time that is? That's when the show starts. So when our show starts, we'll say, hello, here's Brian Callahan.
No, you're going to say hello because you predicted that he would be on the show Thursday. They would have this press conference, I'm sorry.
At 1 o'clock
Thursday.
1
o'clock Thursday. Mickey had foresight on, what was yesterday? You said this, right?
No, Monday.
This is Monday, yeah.
I cannot, man.
We were planning ahead.
Oh,
trying to plan.
Saying you did. We were sitting there going, you really believe that? Well, yeah, maybe by the end of the week, but I think it's going to happen Thursday. Came straight out of the mixer's mouth. And you said, I
need to buy some lottery
during
tickets.
our show. Bananas was a witness. I had a witness.
Remember, we were trying to make plans like, okay, who are we going to have this day and that day? Well, we're a team.
Yeah.
We win, lose as a team.
Oh, okay. Hey, you sound like Brian Callahan. Yeah.
We're adapting, man.
Yep.
Mickey's got collaboration.
I'm collaborating with Bananas and Hitman. Amy Adams-Strunk, this is her collaboration. This is what everybody's going to be doing now. So this is her statement about Rand Carthon's duties. As and he got a promotion too. Executive Vice President and General Manager. He's Executive Vice President.
He got a pay raise or just a title raise?
I would have to ask him like, hey, man, I'm not trying to get my title back with title max. I need a max raise for this title to be added to my title here.
Clip.
As Executive Vice President / General Manager. Again, he's been here 1 year. I'm just here to make Mike look good. This dude is now Executive Vice President, General Manager. I'm just going to go to my office and do my work. Just come and get me if you need anything. Carthon's duties will expand to include all areas that impact the football team, roster control, team activities and personnel decisions, including draft and free agency acquisitions, oversight of Callahan and his coaching staff, scouting, sports medicine, and player engagement.
That means somebody else had that role.
You know what they did?
Vrabel. They just shifted over to you,
Yep.
and then they just dumped a whole bunch of more money into
Executive Vice President.
Amy pulled out the keys from her pocket and said, "Here you go." Toss it right to him.
Yeah. Not a scratch, my man.
There you go.
This is then Chad Brinker, who's been one of there's three guys you always see, Rand, and he has two guys. Chad Brinker is one of the guys who came here to work with him. He came from Green Bay. This is his role, and this is all new. President of Football Operations, new role for the organization. Brinker will provide executive leadership and support for the entire football side of the organization. His day-to-day responsibilities will include direct oversight of the football departments that address salary cap management, which Blaine said earlier, analytics, which we're hearing them talk a whole lot about, analytics and strategy, communication and information systems, and team operations, including security, video, equipment, and grounds. He will also continue to provide scouting evaluations of top talent in both college and the NFL. He better get caught down there. He's going to be busy.
Oh, no. He just got, he just old school, get a mobile home and just sit up there on the parking lot garage they got over
He'd
there,
get
man.
one of the ones y'all used to have meetings in when you first got here.
That's exactly what I was thinking, too. That was horrendous. That was absolutely horrible, man. And then we used to, just like when you're at the hotel, you pull the slide thing and we can hear the other meetings talking. Dang, man, we hear the office, man. We can't even hear you.
You had like the small church Sunday school, like
dividers.
Just the dividers.
Yeah, they just will pull it up, team meeting, and then as soon as the team meeting was over, you just stay right in your seat. Defense is already where they need to be.
The one that's soft, like you could squeeze it. It has
it,
like the folds in it. Yeah, you close it.
Yeah, that's what we had.
It's what we had at Arkansas State.
It was not fun. I was like, dang, man, I can't eat. Boy, that's when you learn how to focus. All right, you hear the other offensive coordinator talking while the defensive coordinator talking. Like, okay, I got to go sit in the front row, man. This thing is distracting me. Yeah, that's how it was, man. And we made it happen, 8-8.
The Teresa Walker story of when y'all two got to talking one day, and she's like, Blaine, you remember that time the weather was bad and you guys did the walkthrough in the parking lot in Bellevue? I said, what?
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, dudes out there in hoodies. Run around, man. You control what you control, man. I think that really built and made us, tough-minded going into the stadium, man. It was like, we dealt with all this now. We are finally arrived. We are here, and this is the team of Tennessee. Man, I think we were just so relieved that we were running to our stadium. We were so happy. It was just like they had us in cages.
I had somebody stop me yesterday.
In the mobile homes, man. It was, man. It was. I mean, dudes could, like, literally, they jumped up, they could hit their head on the ceiling. Only area was high was the weight room. That was it. And I don't know how they made that one so much higher.
Was it also a transitional building?
It was a building. It was a building. They added all the other things to it, the mobile homes, but that was an actual building. I think that's why the ceiling was high.
Because you dropped some heavy. If I'm lifting and I drop something like that, it's going straight through the floor. Because I'm 2 or 3 plates on both sides.
I think Javon jumped up and hit the ceiling or something. It was something crazy like that. I was like, you went what? Up there?
Wasn't that the story that they asked him to do some kind of testing or something?
It was a vertical jump.
Right. He said, if I just jump up and knock the tile out of the ceiling, are we good? And they were like, okay.
You ain't going to get that.
And how tall was it?
I don't know.
Like 12 feet or something, right?
It was up there.
And
why does he come running in and tell everybody, this fool, he is a freak? Like, what? What did he do? He jumped up and hit this. I said, no way. I had to walk in there and see where it was. Like, dang, he was. Oh, good Lord.
A defensive end.
I said, I hope he can help us. That's all I can say. Yeah. Because just because you're a freakish athlete don't mean you're going to be a good football player.
Yeah.
And he turned into being a good football player. Really good football
player. Mario in the F&M Bank chat. By the way, remember, you can always jump in here and talk to us. He said, it feels so good to finally have a new, fresh, updated offensive mind instead of the same old 3 yards and a cloud of dust like we had in the past. I think people's optimism, even for the people who like Mike Vrabel, because we were talking about this in a commercial break, there's still people jumping in here sometimes and saying they shouldn't have fired Vrabel. Most other people, even some of the shouldn't have fired Vrabel people, at this point are like, okay, I'm super interested in what's about to happen.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be different. And that's what, typically owners go the opposite direction, what the coach was before. So not surprised, but you just never know. That's why she said wide net. You never know. It may be a defensive guy, offensive guy, because you don't want to, everything when she's speaking, people just remember this. She's negotiating also. See, so she didn't want to tip her hand because she didn't want someone to go do the research and see the interview and say, oh, and she said she wanted an offensive guy. Oh, she wanted a defensive guy.
Right.
Oh, she didn't say either. She said broad net, and it couldn't be offense or defense. It didn't matter. Special team, it could be somebody with no head coaching experience. So you got to remember when she's speaking, and most people in those positions, they kind of speak broadly instead of specifically because you don't want to put yourself into, back yourself into a corner, and when you're going and having these conversations now that you have an open position. So it was very tactful. That's why I thought she didn't have to give an answer right now because she was talking to the people who are going to be interviewing for the job.
Mm-hmm.
I want to hear what you think is the plan for us here. Because if I give you the answer right now, everybody's going to have that answer. So when I go in my meetings, do the interviews, you're going to just regurgitate what the freak I said.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Smart lady there. Mm-hmm. All about that business. That's why I wasn't concerned. Everybody, everything's on social media now. They did all the research. I'm going to say all the tag words. Collaboration. They already knew that one.
Right.
There was no way around that. They were going to say that.
100%.
Just out there. Too much.
Yeah. Yeah, anybody who could read, again, her last paragraph, this is not my father's NFL. As our league continues to evolve in areas like analytics, sports science, technology, football organizations have become more complex and multifaceted. I want our football operation to be at the forefront of the NFL as teams continue to find new competitive advantages. Okay, here's two things. Number one, I'll do whatever it takes to win. And number two, for all the Titans are cheap. Unless your checkbook is all the way open, you're not saying stuff like this, right?
Oh, well, no. I mean, I don't think she's been running the show. I don't think
not at all.
Right. So I know that, but she's got to still continue to kind of get people. So yeah, she's doing whatever it takes to win. She wants her front office right. They want to be at the forefront of everything, and then hopefully then that leads to success, winning, and then ultimately holding up that trophy. And so that. Yeah, I think she wants to win in the worst way, and she wants to do it the right way, and she's finding out along the way that there's certain things she's got to do that's different. And trust me, she remembers some of the things that happened to her dad in the past. So, yeah, I think she's on a quick track. What year is this now? 6, 7?
She was part of the 6 for Vrabel. She fired – Tommy hired Wiz, and she fired him.
Okay.
Tommy Smith hired Wiz, and she fired him.
Year 8, maybe?
It's 8.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Let's take one quick phone call. Nate is calling all the way from Omaha. We'll come back with Jordan Dajani next, but let's get Nate right quick. Hello, Nate.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Good.
Hey, Nate the Great.
Yeah, love the show, man. Y'all got the best show. I'm telling sports because I be listening to some of these shows. Like, where they find these idiots at, man? You know what I mean?
Well, we didn't know, too. We just, we just hired it.
I swear, man. I love listening to that insight that the hitman gives, man.
Yeah.
But I want to say that, but yeah, man, I listen to y'all to keep up with the Titans and stuff, man. And, the plan is good, man. And I'm pretty sure she going to get it right, but she got to get that offensive line right.
Yeah.
And we've been breaking quarterbacks since Jake Locker. We broke Jake Locker. Marcus Mariota got hit so much he wasn't never right again. And Ryan Tannehill probably needs to go down as one of the toughest quarterbacks in the history of the NFL.
Yeah.
And I just hope they don't break the Levis, you know what I mean? So I think we need to get that. And another thing, Vrabel wanted that Bill Belichick type power, but he ain't won no Super Bowls, you know what I mean? So I love it. Thanks for taking my call, guys.
Nate, appreciate it, man.
Yeah, Nate's bringing the knowledge. Yeah, there's no doubt about it.
Well, what's the chart? You blank around and find out that where you F around and you find out, and there's the picture that keeps coming out.
So the more you blank around,
the sooner you find out. And that's basically what Nate said happened to Vrabel, that he blanked around and he found out. But, yeah, they got to fix the O-line. And Ryan Tannehill's one tough sucker, that's for sure.
He really was.
He was a really good player on this team and took them all the way to the AFC Championship game.
Well, all the quarterbacks, where do you rank Tannehill? Off the cuff, without looking at stats. Behind McNair, where is he at?
100%, I put him second behind McNair. I don't even have to think about it.
In Titans or Titans-Oilers?
Well, if it's not about stats, it's just about the Titans. It doesn't matter. McNair played for the Titans.
I would say top 3.
Oh, who you got? Who you got number 2?
Well, if you're going if you're also putting in the Oilers franchise, I might put Warren Moon at 2.
No,
for the Oilers.
We're talking about
Warren Moon's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, Tennessee.
Yeah,
just Titans. Oh yeah, number 2.
Moving to Tennessee.
Oh yeah,
which could still be Oilers, Tennessee Oilers.
Yeah, easily number 2.
Jay Burner throws Billy Volek name in here. Billy Volek might be number 3.
Oh, where you get putting Marcus?
4 or 5. 4.
That's tough.
Marcus won a playoff game though. Caught his own touchdown pass. Maybe that makes him 3, and then Volek is 4.
Yeah, I put Marcus 3.
Yeah. I just wish things had gone a little better for Marcus.
Well, if he would have stayed healthy, to the guy's point.
Ever since he broke his leg, it just went downhill for him.
All right. We got to break a leg and get out of here. Jordan Dajani is going to join us next. JD is a Tennessee guy. He's from the state of Tennessee, covers the NFL nationally for CBS, but certainly seen a lot of Titans games in his time. We'll get his thoughts on the new coach, the new power structure, all of that next on Blaine and Mickey, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors.
Well, if someone hasn't asked you already, maybe you've asked yourself, what's my resolution for 2024? Well, luckily for you, thanks to the team at Cool Ray Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical, I've got some great ideas for how you can take care of yourself and your home better this year. So maybe you want to be better about saving money. Well, consider a $69 tune-up on your home's heating system so you can ensure your HVA system operates at the highest efficiency. And if you need a new system this year, Cool Ray's industry-leading warranties save you money in the long run. So maybe you want to be better about taking care of your health? Or if you're stocking the fridge and freezer with good food because you're hoping to eat better, don't let the next power outage from a storm spoil that food. So get a free estimate on a whole home generator from Cool Ray's electrical team. The generators also will keep any medical equipment or other necessary appliances on 24/7, rain or shine. So find that resolution you can stick to this year and schedule your next visit for any of their services at coolray.com. That's coolray.com. Jordan.
Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone, hanging out on a Wednesday in the 2 o'clock hour. That only means one thing, the addition of Jordan Dajani into this program. JD, man, how you feeling today? Lots going on.
What's going on, my friends? Yes, a lot is going on. The NFL playoffs, the off season's upon us, and a new power structure as well. So appreciate you guys having me on the show to break it all down.
Well, let's just start with that. You mentioned it, and we mentioned it. New coach Callahan is officially official. He was merely a candidate the last time we spoke to you, and also that power structure and how everything was supposed to be structured. Everybody was wearing Rand and Amy about it a couple of weeks ago, and they said, just give us a minute, and we'll tell you everything. Boy, they told us everything today.
Yeah, it was good reading that article, that piece over at Titans Online, because I was one of those people that was wondering what the vision of the franchise was, and I think it's a kind of easy answer, right, when it comes to the press conference we saw with Rand Carthon, but they were unable to deliver it. So I didn't want to make it a big thing, but it was good reading that article. We have more clarity. I can rest easy knowing exactly what they're looking at moving forward. And I thought it was well stated as well. But when it comes to the new head coach, Mr. Brian Callahan, I'm optimistic, and I'm not going to try to hide the fact that I'm excited that he's an offensive-minded guy. I look forward to watching the Titans score more than 17 points in a game in 2024. I'm excited to watch more of a passing offense as well. And why I like Callahan is because he has experience with multiple successful teams and experience with successful quarterbacks at different stages of their careers. How you work with Peyton Manning in Denver is different than how you work with Joe Burrow as a young player and then Matthew Stafford in the middle of his career as well. So Mr. Callahan has seen a lot, and he wasn't a play caller, but he helped craft offenses and offensive game plans. And I think he's someone who has not only been forced to be flexible, but embraced flexibility and changing up plans of attack based on a number of different factors. Can we even stretch it further and say maybe he's kind of like the anti-Vrabel, right? He's an offensive-minded guy who's subscribing to analytics. We don't have to pull up troubling Will Levis stats and put them on social media for the coaching staff to see. So here's to a new era of Titans football, one that should benefit quarterback Will Levis and the scoring of points as well.
There you go. Jordan Dajani at Jordan Dajani, CBS Sports.
Well, Jordan, I know you kind of touched on it, but, what's the word on the street now that I know it just kind of happened today, but, with Rand Carthon and now the decisions by Amy in the direction of getting everything aligned with the Tennessee Titans?
Yeah, it's interesting because the stuff that I was reading today on Titans Online was kind of what I was expecting to see almost. We hypothesized a lot about what exactly Rand Carthon's role was with the Titans in 2023 because they had a head coach in Mike Vrabel who a lot of people thought, including us, had a lot of control when it came to roster decisions, when it came to maybe even the draft, free agency, things along those lines. And people were wondering who had the final say. Was it the first-year general manager who's never been a general manager before, or was it the previously successful head coach who had kind of worked his way into making some decisions? And I think a lot of people lean towards Mike Vrabel as the guy who might have had final say within the franchise. Again, I'm totally speculating there, but now that he's gone, Miss Amy brought in Rand Carthon to be the general manager of the Tennessee Titans, and that starts here moving in 2024. He's going to have roster control. In the statement, it talks about team activities, personnel decisions, draft free agency acquisitions, the oversight of the coaching staff, going down to scouting and sports medicine, player engagement. And Miss Amy Adams-Strunk is trying to evolve in those different areas, whether it's analytics, and I already brought up sports science, technology. Those are all things that are mentioned in this statement. So this is kind of the transfer of power, if you will, to the general manager, Rand Carthon. He is now the visionary behind where the Titans head forward.
No doubt about it. We're with Jordan Dajani, NFL writer for CBS Sports. Now to the NFL. Chargers, is clock ticking? Jim Harbaugh, are they getting close to a deal? Kind of give us your thoughts on where this situation is at.
Yeah, I will tell you, I think it was Pro Football Talk that reported, or someone reported yesterday saying that the Chargers and Jim Harbaugh were in striking distance of a deal. Now, Harbaugh's only interviewed with two teams, I believe, the Los Angeles Chargers and the Atlanta Falcons. According to reports, tomorrow he has an in-person interview with the Atlanta Falcons, and a lot of people are wondering if he even gets out the door in LA today or even tomorrow, if they're able to reach a deal. So, I told you guys a few weeks ago that the Chargers, in my opinion, were the top open job in the league. And the top coaching candidate in this cycle targeted that franchise all along. And according to reports, it almost seems like it's going to happen. And, you know, when you have the franchise quarterback put in place, that's a huge plus when it comes to an opening. And having Justin Herbert already under contract, I think, is a big reason Harbaugh wants to go there. And if the Chargers end up landing Harbaugh, you have to imagine that becomes a pretty attractive destination when it comes to building out your coaching staff. People want to work under Jim Harbaugh. When it comes to free agents, I understand that the new general manager is definitely going to have to work through some cap gymnastics. But if I had to place my money down right now, I think that Harbaugh is going to end up being with the Los Angeles Chargers.
Well, another coach you're very familiar with here, and Mike Vrabel. I see he's having some second interviews. Do you think, you know, that he will get one of these jobs that he's interviewing for?
Yeah, that's a good question because he is having his second interview in person with the Atlanta Falcons, I think today. And the Atlanta Falcons opening is fascinating to me because I do regard it as maybe a top 3 opening. You know, when you talk about the turnaround that the defense experienced last year, it led to their defensive coordinator being hired away by the Jacksonville Jaguars. They have several pillars on offense and young talent, whether that be Kyle Pitts, Drake London, Bijan Robinson. It's an attractive destination for a couple different reasons, in my opinion. And you look at some of the candidates they're interviewing, whether that's Bill Belichick, whether that's Harbaugh, whether that's Mike Vrabel. You know, they're interviewing some of the top candidates or at least perceived to be the top candidates in this spinning coaching carousel. So I wonder where Bill Belichick fits into this. I wonder what he's thinking. I wonder what the Falcons are thinking in regards to Bill Belichick as their next head coach. Because if this is not something that gets done, I wonder if that somewhat opens the door for Mike Vrabel to be the favorite to land in Atlanta because he's having that in-person interview. So that's something I'm keeping my eye on for sure.
Doesn't it sound weird, though, the greatest coach of all time, and all of a sudden here is the debate that he's really only interviewed really for one of the jobs, really deep into the interview. So that just seems, let's say, odd to me. And maybe there's other issues that we don't know about that maybe he's not want to concede to with being a head coach somewhere else.
Yeah, that's a good point by you. And something that I have a really good understanding of is that I don't have a good understanding when it comes to the coaching carousel and what some of these different head coaches are looking at. Because you look at some of the young first-year guys, such as Ben Johnson, who has virtually interviewed with every team except the Tennessee Titans. But then you have Bill Belichick, arguably the greatest head coach of all time, and he's only interviewed, I think, with the Atlanta Falcons. I don't think he's talked to the Chargers. I'm not 100% sure. But I don't know if that's a good indication of how he's viewed by teams looking for openings, or if Bill Belichick's being really careful about who he talks to and where he wants to land. And I think you can take that same philosophy and apply it to different guys such as Jim Harbaugh, maybe even Mike Vrabel as well. It's kind of tough to figure out what some of these guys who are veterans, I should put it, not first-year coaches like young offensive coordinators. It's tough to figure out what exactly they're thinking. Right. So I don't like to speculate on top of what the entire NFL, how they view these coaching candidates, because I'm sure that a lot of people would like to have Bill Belichick as their head coach, but you also have to wonder what exactly he's looking for in his next landing spot as well.
There you have it. Jordan Dajani, NFL writer for CBS Sports.
JD, I know you wrote about maybe who could be the next defensive coordinator for the Packers, but let me ask you this. Who could be the next defensive coordinator for the Titans? The Titans have not reached out to me yet to give permission for Blaine to interview for it. I would probably grant it only if it came with an associate head coach title and that he could also come and do this show every day. But who do you think will be the guy for the Titans?
I love that. Yeah, I bet Blaine's already making phone calls trying to get in as a position coach. He's got coaching experience, by the way, now, so who knows?
Yeah.
But I think that this is an incredibly important hire because you've got a first-year head coach who is an offensive-minded guy. So you want to have someone who can serve as the quote-unquote head coach of the defense. So I'm looking at some of the veterans out there on the coaching carousel. You know, if I'm power ranking some DCs, Wink Martindale is going to be someone who's at the top of my list, someone who's aggressive, someone who made his name coaching up linebackers. That's why I kind of talked about him maybe as a potential match with the Green Bay Packers with LaFleur. But I would love if Tennessee was interested in Wink Martindale. But a couple of other guys I would bring up are Leslie Frazier, former guy with the Bills. He was a former head coach of the Minnesota Vikings as well. He's a defensive-minded veteran, someone who can really bring something to that side of the ball. And I think the wild card is that Ejiro Evero guy from the Carolina Panthers. I think the Panthers actually had a top 6, top 10 defense in the NFL this year, despite numerous injuries at important positions with some of their important players. Mr. Evero is viewed as this up-and-coming defensive mind in the NFL. He's worked under Sean McVay. He worked with the Denver Broncos. He's now worked with the Carolina Panthers. But he's different because he's actually interviewing for a couple of head coaching spots right now, including the Carolina Panthers and the Atlanta Falcons as well. So if he does not land one of those top jobs, I don't know if he's exactly going to head back to Carolina with whoever that head coach is going to be, since he's interviewing for that same position. He may be free to pursue other opportunities when it comes to leading a defense elsewhere. And that's certainly a guy I would like to have on my side as a defensive coordinator here in Nashville.
All right, I got to ask you this because I know you wrote about it a couple of days ago. The fumble through the end zone rule, that came up again in the Bills-Chiefs game. And now it's like, oh, maybe we have to change the rule, right? That bubbled up the next day that the NFL may look into changing that rule.
Oh, my, they get all the advantages already on offense.
Yeah. So what should happen with that rule?
Yeah, good point. So I actually wrote on this a while ago. It might have been even in December, my first article I did on this. And this came from our NFL lead insider, Jonathan Jones, saying that for the first time in a long time, there was actually momentum to changing this rule. It almost seemed like that, the ball was starting to get rolling. No pun intended, through the end zone. But we also saw ESPN report after that play took place in the divisional round that there's a good chance the rule is going to be changed. And that, as I mentioned, there's more momentum behind it. So if I had to hypothesize right now, I really do think that this rule is going to be changed. Now, as for my opinion, I don't have a strong opinion on this because, as Blaine brought up, he's not the first person to say this. I've seen offensive players say that the offense already has so many advantages going for them. If they're careless with the ball at the most important juncture on the field, then there need to be severe consequences. And I understand that point of view as well, but it seems like they're going to be looking for a different kind of penalty, whether that's somewhat like I forget where I'm going with this, but whether they move the ball back, if it's an offensive touchback, they handle it differently. There's going to be different discussions. And I really do think that the key point of emphasis, the only way that this rule is changed is if they have a new consequence, a new ruling that everyone can agree with. But as I mentioned, there seemed to be momentum with this. So I would anticipate that there's a good possibility that this rule could be changed this offseason.
I bet if it had happened to the Chiefs, they would have changed it the next day.
Ooh.
Jordan Dajani, our guest, CBS Sports.
Really did. Well, breaking news there, JD, man, Jordan, Dolphins and Vic Fangio mutually part ways after one season as the DC in the Miami Dolphins, or at the Miami Dolphins. Well, so, man, another DC available.
How about that? Yeah, Vic Fangio is another guy I would
away
consider.
Because he wanted to come to the Titans. That's what it was.
Boy, he's got to leave Miami now. I'd be sad. So warm. It's so warm down there.
As reported first by Blaine Bishop, Vic Fangio wants to join the Tennessee Titans and this young staff with Callahan. Yeah, that's another guy. I mean, it's tough because Miami's defense was so up and down in 2023. And when they added Jalen Ramsey back when he was healthy, they certainly saw it jump. But they were way too far inconsistent down the stretch. And you go back to that regular season finale against the Buffalo Bills, and interim offensive coordinator Joe Brady really got the best out of Vic Fangio, which was kind of surprising to see. So that was another match that a lot of people thought was made in heaven heading into 2023, but it did not work out at all.
Dang. What do you think about this conspiracy theory? We haven't talked about the colors of the logo for the Super Bowl has been certain colors, at least the last 3 or 4 years I saw, and those teams are the ones who made it to the Super Bowl. Their colors of their teams made it to the Super Bowl. Do you believe in this?
Oh, yeah. I'm all in on this. In fact, go ahead and
I didn't
parlay.
know this.
Go ahead and parlay the Ravens and 49ers money line right now at plus money. I think that's a good bet. I mean, it's a coincidence that can't be ignored because, as you mentioned, I think it's like the past 3 seasons that the NFL scriptwriters have foretold their eventual Super Bowl rematch just by the colors of the scheme. And right now this year, what is it? It's purple and red, right? So 49ers and Ravens were the number 1 seeds in their respective conferences. They made it to their conference championship games. They're favored in both matchups, by the way. So we may be seeing those 2 teams in Vegas.
Well, I don't know if the Swifties and crew and Kelsey and those guys going to be happy about that, man. So you saying the Ravens going to beat KC in the AFC Championship. with my homies.
I'll put that parlay on. I don't know how much money I'm going to put on it because I was stupid enough to doubt Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs last week against the Buffalo Bills, man. I thought Buffalo had everything going for them, right? They had home field advantage. They had the longest active win streak in the NFL, but they were not able to get the job done. Who cares if Patrick Mahomes was making his first start on the road in the postseason, snowballs flying at him in the end zone? He was absolutely cool under pressure. Isaiah Pacheco was an X factor as well. When it comes to this AFC Championship game, a lot of people are going to be breaking it down between Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes. But in my opinion, it really comes down to which defense is going to be more successful. And these are arguably the two best defenses in the NFL. You look at Kansas City, their calling card really has to do with their press coverage rate. It's the highest in the NFL at 81%, I believe. They blitz at the fourth highest clip as well, 37%. Their DBs are versatile when they're rushing the quarterback from the slot. And the Ravens, I mean, historically, they're one of the best units over the past few years when it comes to leading the NFL in sacks. I think they were tied for the NFL lead in turnovers as well. So these are two units that are very up to the task of containing two of the most explosive quarterbacks in the National Football League. I'm very excited for that matchup.
One more, man. This is something we haven't got to talk about. I'm sure we'll discuss it here after we get off. But family members going on to social media talking about their relatives that play in the league, but then they talk about their teammate on social media. I'm referencing Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb's family members talking about Dak Prescott saying he need to go. There's been other ones, but that just came to mind right after that game. What do you think about that, man? You got to put a stop to your family members tweeting about your teammates?
I despise it, man. I despise it. I think it's just extra added noise that you don't want in your professional life, especially if you're a member of America's team playing the most important position for the Dallas Cowboys, and you're the mother of your number one wide receiver is saying that you're not in, and she would rather have rookie C.J. Stroud leading that offense instead of you. I'm not for it. I'm very happy that I don't have to tell my parents to stay off social media, to stop talking about my work. Because that would be absolutely disastrous. I really don't like it. I know it's really entertaining from a fan's perspective. You know, it's going to generate clicks and generate headlines, whether it's on TMZ or CBS Sports. But, man, I don't like the added extra noise. There's a lot of other things that are already going on, especially with the Cowboys' disappointing early exit in the playoffs.
There you have it, Jordan Dajani.
JD, fantastic stuff. Enjoy the games this weekend. We're running out of football fast. It breaks my heart to say it, but we got to savor this Sunday. 2 more, and then the one big Super Bowl game left to go. And we'll be talking about all of it with you, my friend, coming up.
I love it. Savor the Sunday. Appreciate you guys.
Sir, Jordan Dajani, CBS Sports, at Jordan Dajani on Twitter. You can follow him there. All right, we'll come back. There's a little bit of video of Callahan, like 50 seconds, it's making the rounds out there. I've seen 2 or 3 different people tweet it out. It's him talking about the importance of passing the football. I just want to serve this to people.
That's what I talked about yesterday.
Yeah, I want to. We didn't play it.
Oh,
let's play it though, because
I love it.
Blaine outlined it. If you were listening yesterday, you know. A little bit of audio out there. I think it's like an appetizer for all you're going to hear from him tomorrow. But let's give you that appetizer next. You will want to hear this from the now official Titans head coach.
Glorious.
Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone, 3HL coming up next, so don't go anywhere. Brian Callahan, I would credit this clip to whomever did it. I don't know. I've seen so many people tweet out clips from this interview. I don't know where it came from. So if it's your interview and you're the TV reporter that did it and you're listening, tweet us at Blaine and Mickey. Tell me. I'll credit you. But Brian Callahan on the importance of the passing game in the modern NFL. This is your head coach, Titans fans. By the way, tomorrow, 1 o'clock, the press conference. Press conference starts when we start. Guess what we'll do? We'll run the press conference. So don't miss it. And then we'll immediately we'll react to it, take your calls. It's going to be a magical day tomorrow. But here's just a little taste.
The teams that win the most games are generally the teams that pass the ball the best. That's usually because they have really good quarterbacks, and usually because they have guys that can make plays on football outside. And so you're seeing the teams invest in that part of the game really across the board. And, we're no different. We spent really 2 top 35 picks on receivers and on a quarterback. And so we've invested in it as well. But I do think that's the shift in the league these days, is that the passing game has become the focal point. However, that does leave you opportunities to be really effective and efficient running the football because defenses do the same thing. They still give the resources to the pass game, which then gives you opportunities, hopefully, in the run game, to run against light boxes and numbers advantage and all that stuff. So I think the running back is still an important part of an NFL offense. It just has changed in the way that people view it and look at it, but it's still have to be able to do those things to play good football.
This coming from the previous regime who once asked about passing and said, who the bleep are we going to throw it to?
I got the guy's name is Jake and Ball. Jake and Ball. I think it's more talking about basketball.
Okay.
But that's who I saw with it, and I retweeted it like yesterday. But, yeah, that was just interesting to see how he spoke on that. And I think even in our interviews, after games and throughout the week, I think, you'll get a guy who's comfortable in his own skin and have, dialogue with you about what they're actually trying to accomplish. Whether it goes good, bad, or, indifferent. I mean, about, whatever it is. So, yeah, those are these kind of things you're trying to read people and what they are. And based off just some of these interviews, which is always tough because we don't know any of these guys. And he could turn out great. He could turn out not to be a good coach. But you want to hear how he thinks, at least about football. And he seems like he's a teacher. So I told you that was real big for me. And a guy who feels like there's more ways to win games, but in this modern era of football, you got to be able to throw the football. Whether you use that to set up the run or use the run to set up the pass, whatever it takes to win games. Yeah, so it was pretty unique.
This was a discussion that we had several times where one of your biggest points was when you get to the playoffs, everybody can play pretty good defense, so they wouldn't be there. And you have to be able to pivot. So maybe sometime in the regular season, just come out and throw it 42 times. Let Tannehill do it. Let there right? We had this discussion because you may have to win like that in the playoffs. And they showed that they couldn't. The only games they won in the playoffs were when they passed a minimal amount of times and Derrick Henry ran for 198 yards. That's when they won in the playoffs.
So that style was outdated. It won't get you past maybe the first round.
Right.
You maybe get, fortunate and win the second round, but as we saw, that eventually passed too. As guys got older, you don't have the offensive line you had. So, yeah, I think you got to find more ways to win. And whatever is successful on that given day, you got to be able to do it. And him just explaining, there was another interview, I saw him talking about Jake Browning, who was the backup to Burrow, who's an elite quarterback, we all know. But after 2 or 3 starts realizing that, okay, Burrow's not going to be back, then he doesn't work as well, Browning, as well in the shotgun as Burrow did. So we're going to put him under center. And that means you're having dialogue with the guy. You're saying, hey, man, where do you feel most comfortable? Because you want your player to feel the most comfortable so he can succeed outside of what you want to do. You said, okay, well, we're going to put you in the center, then we're going to rock this thing, and you like to get the ball out quick, then we're going to do that. See, that's what I'm talking about, living to the strengths of your players instead of saying, this is my system, and we're going to run it this way, and this is the only way we're going to run it. And that was Vrabel. See, this guy is the total opposite of that. I want to win more than I want to be right. So, hey, I'm flexible. I've been in different systems, schemes, and hey, whatever works best for you, this is what we're going to do. And we're going to roll with it. And guess what? They start winning some games. And if anybody look at his 6-game stats, if people are the stat guy, I know you're a stat guy, his stats were better than Burrow's. In the same comparison. But is he better than Burrow? No. Right. But he did whatever he could to make this guy successful. You probably going to get the guy paid whenever he's a free agent. I think he's got another year or so, but yeah.
Yeah, this was, I think, year 3 for him. So,
yeah. So, man, he got valuable experience and was successful. Now, a little bit easier. He had a lot of weapons, but he wasn't having, success immediately.
Right.
Because it was Burrow's way, right? Because Burrow's he's the king of the hill. He got the big contract, and he's a stud. Well, we got to find a way for Jake Browning's way within our scheme and our system to help you be successful. We got the weapons. You just got to get it to him. So that's what I think Amy's talking about in some of the conversations there in her statement.
She made some statements. I would imagine we'll hear from her to probably start things off, or at some point tomorrow, maybe a little bit of her. I don't know if she'll answer questions, but I'm going to imagine we'll hear from her. We'll hear from Ram. We'll hear from Callahan. And guess what? We'll hear from all of them at 1 o'clock. So we'll be right here, ready to go when the show starts. Buck is ending. Don't go anywhere. Don't even go to the bathroom. Just wait, because we got it all tomorrow.
Can't wait. Ooh. But in the meantime,
in between time,
peace.